So in day one, what we are essentially going to do is get an understanding of what is the balanced scorecard from a very practical angle. Why balanced scorecard? And why especially in today's information and digital era? And then we are also going to do what one of the most critical things is called strategic map. I'm sure all of you have heard of strategic map. So we will actually, at the end of the day today, you'll have a takeaway of how to go about how to do a strategic map. That's a very one big takeaway for today. Okay, so we will actually look at the entire why, what, how, and then do a strategic map. Tomorrow, having done the strategic map, all of you have your own roles. You have your goal sheets. Now, most of you said that you want to implement balanced scorecard. Now, all of you must be having KRS, etc. So how is it different if I'm going to use a KRA or if I'm going to implement a BSC? Is there really going to be an advantage in terms of the output or performance? Or is it only going to help me? Or is it really going to help the organization? So you are actually going to do a BSc for your own role. Okay, something which you will take back for your own role. So in a sense, how are you going to use balanced scorecard in your performance management system? Okay, and how is it really going to help you or the organization? In fact, Meenal was asking, ma'am, is it only for the senior management or is it only for the middle management? So for whom is it BSc? Does it mean only top management? So we'll also be looking at this cascading process, what is it, etc. So the first day will be your strategic map and the second day will be using balanced scorecard. How do you build your own performance management system? Okay, which will actually give you a good understanding and overview when you get back how to go about your balanced scorecard. For whoever, a lot of participants have come up with, we want to implement balanced scorecard. And of course, I will also tell you what are some of the things when you really want, because most of you are wanting to implement. So what are one of those things which you need to keep in mind? What are those steps when you have to implement balanced scorecard? Okay, guys.
Nirmala, I just have one question to begin with. During my introduction, I have mentioned, I have seen a success story and a failure story. I would like to place the question right now, and I'll definitely try to, fetch the answer during today and tomorrow. But I thought if I voice the question now, that would help, me to gather the right answer. Now, in one organization, what we did, we made it mandatory that out of the KRAs that you set for everybody in the organization, one KRA has to be from customer, one KRA has to be from finance, one KRA has to be from learning and growth, and one KRA has to be from internal processes. Now, in the other organization, BSc was totally managed separately, differently, and only maybe a 10% of weightage. If a particular department could achieve all the line items of BSc, the team would get 10 on 10. If that particular department did not achieve, the team would not get any, for example, it will get 8 or 10 or whatever. So one is having essentially one of the, all 4 pillars of BSc essentially into the KRAs, and one was KRA, BSc being separated, maintained separately. It was, evaluated separately. Only the final outcome used to have an impact on the PMS. So in the example 2, I could see a success. In the example 1, I could see a failure. So I thought I would put forward this concern.
Definitely. So when you actually keep doing practically, because this session is going to be more practical, you got to really work at it, and you will see that if there is a kind of a situation of differentiating the BSA framework and your KRA framework, and then integrating and evaluating at the time of reward and compensation, how does it motivate or demotivate the employees? What happens? And ultimately, is it aligned with the real the business objective? We will see that as well. Okay.
Right.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah, great, guys. Welcome to this program. So what we will do is we will do a quick, very you might find it like, you know, a kids play, but an energizer, you know, an activity, just to sensitize you with your senses. What all of you have your mobile phones? All of you have your mobile phones, right? Okay. Right. Now, all of you know to use your stopwatch. When I said stopwatch, I'm sure today, you know, start, person like me, maybe, you know, not very, I mean, how to use it in the sense stop and start, because we need to count the number of seconds or minutes for an activity. Everybody knows, right? Stop and start. Okay, that's the first part. Second, how many of you write with your left hand? Any left-handers here? Any left-handers here? So how many of you normally, how many of you write, which hand do you use, left or right? Right hand, right?
Right.
Okay. So now there is no monitor, there is no auditor to check. You have to use your left hand. Okay. What you have to do? You have to use your left hand. Now, what is that you need to do? You also need to have a pen and a paper. All of you have a pen and a paper? All right. Okay. Yeah, Suman must be saying, I make this game, you know, till my kids play this game. What is this ma'am is actually asking me to do this game?
But love to participate. But we love to participate.
So what you need to do, no cheating, use your left hand. All right. Now there is nobody to actually check you. So you have to write with your left hand A to Z. When I said A to Z, it is not A, today's B to B, 2, and then Z. No. You have to write A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, not even A and C and Z and no. Not even A to Z. Okay. All 24 letters. A to
all in caps.
I leave it to you, capital or
okay.
They should be legible.
Okay.
You may also say just scribble or something like this. They should be legible, right? Legible. This is not a test of how beautifully you will write, or, you know, when we study in the convent, they ensure you to make, you know, write in cursive. No, they should be legible. Read by, if Suman is writing these letters, Reena should be able to read them. So all of you, what you need to do, the A to Z you have to write. The moment you start, please start your stopwatch. And the moment you finish your Z, you stop it and count how many seconds you have taken or how many minutes you have taken. Okay, first round. I mean, this is your activity. So you can just start and press your stopwatch, start watch, and then stop when you have finished Z.
So do we start now?
Yeah. Just give me a thumbs up once you have finished your.
Done.
Just give me a thumbs up. Kids play, huh? Okay. Have you written down how much time in seconds or minutes you have taken? Please make a note, data. Please make a note of how much time you have taken, okay? I'm not asking you to tell me, but that is for yourself. And you have to be accurate. No adding up and no diminishing in that, okay? Just right. All done? Everybody?
Yes.
Okay. Now, can we do it the second time? Huh? Okay. So again, when you do the second time, just start, stop your watch. Okay, just give me a thumbs up, guys. Okay, thumbs up. Just we'll wait for a minute or so, Suman. Okay. Yeah. So anybody who wants to volunteer to say how much time they have improved from the first and the second? Have they taken longer than the first or longer? And if yes, yeah.
It's shorter in the second. Shorter in the second.
Yeah, how much? Can I ask you, Suman? How many minutes seconds have you done?
It's 59 seconds in the first round and
Okay.
47 seconds in the second round.
Okay. Suman says 59 in the first round, 47 in the second round. Now, anybody who's lesser than 47?
My first one is 48.
Mausami, I'll take Mausami.
My first one is 48.
Okay, second?
Second one is 50.
Second one is 50. So you have taken a little longer in the second round. Okay.
Yes.
Anybody
Yes.
who's lesser than in the second round, lesser than what's up? Yeah.
Ma'am, my first was 30 seconds. So second was 25 seconds.
Oh, wow.
25 seconds. Oh my God.
25.
Huh? So Kalyan has anybody who's breaking Kalyan's record for this in the second round? Anybody who's breaking the Kalyan's record?
No.
No, nobody is breaking the Kalyan's record.
World record.
Okay. Now.
So actually I used to write practice earlier. So that is why it was a little bit easy for me.
Okay. So you were practicing earlier. So that's why it was a little easier to reduce your time. All right. Okay. Now can we do a third round? Okay. But the third round is a little different. Now you can just switch off your mobile phones. We don't need stop and start. All right. No stop and start. You don't have to measure what is the time you have taken. So can you do the third round? What are the things? Earlier you were actually quantifying, measuring how much time you have taken. Now, no. You can just take your time. You can you write from A to Z. Okay, just thumbs up. Lena's feeling, what is this? I make my kid write, huh? A to Z. Okay. Can we do a fourth round? Who wants to do? I'm not even forcing. I'm only saying who wants to do a fourth round? Leela is saying she wants to do a fourth round. Suman is also saying who wants. Okay, fine. We'll just make you do one round. Okay.
Done.
Okay. Which round did you like the most? Anybody? Which round did you like the most? Let me hear Leena. Leena, which round did you like the most?
Third one.
So Leena likes the third round. Why, Leena?
Because although you had asked not to measure, I had measured and I did it in 36 seconds, 52 in first.
No, but
41.
I asked you in the third round, the condition was don't use the stopwatch. Don't even see how much time you're taking. It's your wish. You start A to Z. But out of your own motivation, you wanted to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Which round? There were 4 rounds. Which round did you like?
I like the fourth one.
You like the fourth one. Why, Divankar?
Because I was always trying to increase the quality of writing, and in the fourth one it came the best.
But tell me, this is not a test for improving writing here, okay?
Yes.
We were only asked to write from A to Z, legible. So this is not a contest for improving writing.
That's my personal motivation.
So that was like, okay, but if you were asked to say, if you were asked to write legibly A to Z, did you like the first round, second round, or did you like the third round or the fourth round?
I like the third or fourth.
Third or fourth. So the reason is why? Because there was no check, no measure.
No, because in the time pressure, the kind of quality that I delivered, and without the time pressure, I delivered a much better quality.
Oh, with the time pressure. So you are adding, saying that because there was no time pressure, I could do my work better. All right. Let me just check with someone else.
Yeah.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, I like the first one.
Finel.
I like the first.
Finel.
I like the first round.
Okay.
Because I was trying to do something different. I've never written ABCD in my life with a left hand.
Okay.
There was a lot of excitement when I did the first time, and I realized that after writing the fourth time, the first time was the one when I wrote the best.
Okay.
Even though I took more time, I think so. I did it. I did well when I did the first time.
Now let me twist it in. Let me redefine my question.
Ma'am, I have one statement only. The first one I liked because there was no pressure. At the end, it was pressure. I have to finish. It should be like this. I mean, thinking BSc. So earlier there was no BSc. So the quality was good. Now after BSc, I have a lot of pressure. I have to do this. I have to deliver this.
But let me put it like this for all of you. If I were to say, okay, do the same thing. See, nobody is going to look at you as long as it's legible. There is no, you can do it at your own time. No, nobody is going to measure how much time you have taken, but do it from A to Z 6 times, 7 times, 8 times, 9 times. Would you be excited still? Would you be excited?
No, I wouldn't.
No.
You wouldn't be excited. But what if I were to say, hey guys, I'm going to give you a real big surprise gift for the person who will actually take the least time in writing from A to Z in this group. Okay. I mean, we will actually measure how much of time and then we'll put up a context. How many of you will be excited? I'm sure all of you will be excited.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So since most of you are really experienced, what was I trying to get at? What was it trying? What was the message in this activity?
Incentive.
What was the message in this activity?
that when you have a
Incentive.
or a target which is linked up with appropriate rewards and recognition, maybe it works better.
I will just 1 second. I thought I will use the blackboard. Okay. Yeah. So what was the so?
A lot of factors came out of it. I mean, individually, few said it's like quality which motivated. Few said the time which actually matters to them. They have finished in a lesser time. So, you know, a lot of attributes came out of this activity, entire activity.
Yes, I agree. But the most important thing is that when our work is measured, what? We used a measure, right?
Yeah.
We quantified, we measure, right? So when we did this activity in the first and the second round, we said, please measure your time, right? Now, when we measure, what happens? We are able to compare. Have I done better? Somebody said I was able to do it better in the second round because I've improved. Like Suman said that I took 59 seconds in the first round, but I took lesser time. So that means without data, were you able to say that in the third and the fourth round? No, because I worked at my pace, but I don't know. I was not able to measure how I did in my third round and how I did in my fourth round. Is that so, Debanka? Right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. In fact, Mosami said, hey, I took, a little longer time in the second round because she had data, right? Somebody again said, Kalyan said, I took much lesser time. He was able to, now he compared not only his data, but he compared data of what? The group. The group generally fell between 47, 50 or so, but his time was much, much lesser. So he was able to not only compare himself with the previous, but he was also able to compare himself with the group and say, yes, I was able to do it much faster than the others. So what it goes to say that very important. I'm sure all of you understand that what does not get measured does not exist. What am I saying? What does not get measured does not exist. You agree? Do you agree? What gets measured gets done. Even if you have to talk to your like, I don't know, Suman must be having, we'll take Minal. Minal has a small daughter and she's come first in class. And she says, Minal will say, hey, great. I love you. You have come first in class. But mommy, what am I getting? That's the first thing. No, it is quantified. What am I getting? I've come first in class. Are you going to give me something? A reward? You agree? So this activity was just to make you really feel that how important is measurement. How important is measurement. But having said that, are we then defining right measures? Are we then defining the right measures? Okay, that's what we are going to really look at and look at the entire thing. Okay, this was just to ignite your minds so that you start thinking that today what we are actually going to do is all about measurement. I want to talk to you about before I really get into the balanced scorecard. Have you noticed most of the organizations today, like say for example, even the startups, their market capitalization, that is their net worth is rated as very, very high. Why do you think so? Like for example, if I were to just show you, okay. Today, a lot of research done. Today, the company's tangible assets, okay, the valuation is much less as in compared to the intangible assets. Why? First of all, what are tangible assets? Guys, unless and until you really are active, participative, what are tangible assets? For example, what are tangible assets?
Tangible assets would be your machinery, your plant,
materially, whatever you can touch, feel,
touch and
right?
see.
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh? Okay, building, raw material, machinery, etc. What are your intangible assets?
Goodwill, brand equity.
Branding, goodwill, customer service, right? Huh? So why are organizations in today's times giving much more value when you are actually evaluating a company? Why is this that the worth of intangible assets is becoming much higher? Why do you think so?
Because if you have assets, if you have tangible assets with some
Right.
other organization also,
Right.
provided they have the intangible assets, they can always, the value of the business will always remain. For example, an HDFC, and you have got great customer service. Tomorrow, if it is taken over by someone else also, the quality of customer service will still remain. So have the tangible assets to support it.
Okay.
I would echo with Minal's view. If you tend to sell off an organization and you only have your tangible assets, then you sell off only at the value of the tangible assets. But if you have a huge intangible asset, that will also be sold off to a very high valuation.
Okay. So in the industrial area, the focus was more with what? More with production, right? Delivery, right? Production of products, delivery, selling, Okay. Now this was in the industrial era. But in the information era or the digital era, what has changed? What has changed? Will you agree that the external environment has changed to a great extent? Right?
Right.
Do you think that the customer has become more savvy?
Right.
Right? He is more demanding. Right? The kind of products and services you are going to deliver to the customer, now they have to be really targeted. You have to make what target segmentation, like, every market has different kind of products, customer service. So especially because of the service industry, the entire concept of customers has changed, right? What are their demands? What are their needs, etc. So therefore, if you actually look at, the balanced scorecard has some kind of genesis in this tangible and intangible assets. So when we look at a typical, just let me show you. When we are talking about, just to show you, right? Just to show you. In the industrial era, we were only focusing on what? what is that we have achieved in terms of the financial terms, right? Maybe the revenue, maybe the EBITDA, maybe the profits, etc. through some production process, etc. But now, when we are talking about the intangible assets through a research which has really gone very high, what is it? Unless and until you really work from the bottom, which is called your human capital, your information capital, your organization capital, what we call this learning and growth, we really cannot deliver what the customer wants. So we'll get into detail just to give you a little understanding of how it works. Okay.
But even today, there is a bifurcation, the kind of a weightage a manufacturing company would have between, weightage distribution between tangible, intangible, it would be different from a service organization.
Absolutely. From the product. We are definitely going to talk about how, depending on the kind of products and services you're going to deliver, how much of it is going to be tangible and how much of it is going to be intangible. Okay. So to begin with, this is not just an activity, but for you, most of you are wanting to implement. So Vilma has sent you a questionnaire, right? I'll just open up that questionnaire. There is a Word document. Can you just look up your Word document? All of you?
In the chat box?
There is this assessing the need for a balanced scorecard. Do you have it? Yeah. Okay. So considering the fact that most of you are wanting to really implement, put yourself for the consultants, they can actually think of any organization they have worked with. Okay. Now this questionnaire has 20 questions. All right. Now you have to be honest and you have to do it for yourself and also think of your organization. Say, for example, first question. Our organization has invested in total quality management improvement initiatives, but we have not seen corresponding increase in financial or customer results. And if you think that this is on a very high, you fully agree, you can have 5. If you say, okay, little bit lesser than that, you can have 4. But if you feel, no, we are, please don't make we have not seen. Okay. Ensure that, your pointers are for that. There is not much of a correlation between we are doing a lot of improvement initiatives on our shop floor, TQM activity, etc. But we have not seen corresponding results in our customer or financial. Okay. So that's how you have to. So read every question carefully and then assign the ratings on a scale of 1 to 5. If you agree the most, 5, little less. So then after that, what you need to do is please count all your, for all those questions you have given, total it up and you would know where you are. Then we will just take 5 minutes to discuss this. Okay. So I think you can do this questionnaire and first of all, have you understood and any clarifications here? The need for a balanced scorecard. That's your starting thing. The need, assessing the need for somebody said, how do we know should we be doing a balanced scorecard? So this questionnaire will give you a good sense, a good understanding of whether you really need a balanced scorecard in your organization. All of you have that questionnaire, guys? Yes, Moshimi, you have something. Yeah, please open up.
I could not find this questionnaire in my email.
You don't have it?
No.
Just now it has been sent, email and chat box both. Check it out.
You can use it in the chat box.
No, sorry. Can you resend it, please?
Okay, I'm sending it on the WhatsApp.
Yeah, that will be much more easier, I think.
You are Chetna. Who's that?
Moshimi.
Okay.
Okay, Minal is done. All right. Okay. Okay. Just give me a thumbs up as soon as you have done. And generally look at your scores, guys. Yeah. Just give me a thumbs up as soon as you're done with this exercise. Okay.
I'm done.
Yeah. So just, I'm sure most of you have done. Just to get a feel of, I will just take 2-3 people or, what are some of the scores you have got? Suman, what is the score? Because you've been there in the, huh?
Yeah, my score is 48.
Your score is, say, 48. So you're not so bad, huh? So you guys are having, the 48 score gives you an indication that you still have systems and processes in place, but to improve, you will need a very good tool like BSC to ensure that you achieve not just on the ground certain tactical results, but at large, the business achieves its vision, achieves its goals, right? The big, hairy goals. So you still have scope. Let us say somebody who is at between 61 and 100. Chetana.
Yeah, I got 62.
Yeah. So these questions were very, very simple, right?
Yes.
They were very plain. They were actually on the ground, giving you a good understanding that, hey, why, we talk about math, BSc, it's not like a magic wand. Now you know that why should you have a system, or why should you have a kind of a tool which will improve and which will ensure that you get your business results, right? Okay. Anybody with 2030? Anybody? Just anybody between 20 and 30 who are almost arrived kind of things? Huh? Okay, great. That means scope for all of you to actually do BSc. Okay. All right. Okay, great. Did this give you a little understanding in terms of, then that how we typically, for all those people who had scores between 61 and 100 or 21, that how we are actually currently measuring our entire system of processes, and then we are measuring something and we want to achieve something else. Clearly, we measure something and we want to achieve something else. So by using a balanced scorecard, what do you achieve? So some people ask me, by using a balanced scorecard, what is that we achieve? Let us first of all understand.
Nirmala, I have a question here. The question comes from one of the questions here.
This is,
Can you please briefly tell us what is exactly TQM?
Total Quality Management. Most of the manufacturing organizations, they actually go in for this TQM, which is also why, because it takes care of across most of the manufacturing organization, less in terms of services. This is kind of an ISO kind of a certification. Why do they go in for manufacturing organization? Because, like say for example, I've been very closely working for a lot of manufacturing or automobile sectors. So they are OEM, manufacturer. That means original equipment. So their products go into certain Ford, certain world-class automobiles. Now to ensure, in turn they have to sell their automobiles to the customers to ensure that there is quality. Not only ensure that there is some kind of a brand certification. For example, I'll say, hey, I'm a competent person, but if I have a certification, I'm qualifying myself in terms of saying that, you see, I'm a certified auditor, I'm a certified. So likewise, even organizations have to certify themselves. So TQM, TPM, most of the manufacturing organizations have that. All right? Okay. So coming back to, like, all of you have got a little understanding about, after having done this questionnaire in terms of why should we actually be using a kind of a tool which helps us to measure the larger goal. Okay. Now the challenge when we are saying in most of the organizations, if you actually recall how it works, measurement, when we do performance management system, everybody is in silo. My unit, my department, my role. But at the end of it, how are we actually then aggregating everything and ensuring that are we realizing our business goals? Are we realizing our vision? Are we realizing whatever we have actually planned in terms of a strategy? So therefore, what is this balanced scorecard? Let us just get into this little detail of balanced scorecard. I have given you a sufficient background. Now let us quickly get into what is a balanced scorecard. Okay, can you see my are you able to see this?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, now to give you a little quick background about the balanced scorecard, I'm sure most of you know that these are the two people, Kaplan and Norton, who actually designed and who worked on various industries, gathering a lot of data in terms of results, what is that people measure, and then they come up with a balanced scorecard. Now, to put it, I'm not reading the definition, to put it, maybe I will use a blackboard, which will help you to, because we don't have that kind of a time to really get into each and every slide and read it. Yeah. So when I talk about, let me just clear this, okay? So when we are talking about BSC, now what is it? It is actually what? A measuring tool. Okay, it's a measurement tool. Now, when I say it's a measurement tool, it measures performance, right? It measures performance, but it pushes you into 4 quadrants. It pushes you into 4 quadrants. And I'm sure most of you know about all the 4 quadrants. So it has a financial aspect, it has a customer aspect, it has a internal business processes aspect, and then you have a learning and growth aspect. And growth aspect. Okay. Now, when we talk about this balanced scorecard as a measurement tool, the most important thing is it pushes you across the organizations to have all your objectives, okay, then measures, your targets and initiatives, what does it do? Aligned to your this is important. Okay. So somebody was asking me, what if I had just KRAs to myself? What does a balanced scorecard do? It helps you, it pushes you, it forces you. The word I use it called what? Cascading. I'm sorry, one second. And aligning. Okay. Oh, sorry. These are the 2 important things the measurement tool does. What is it? Cascading, aligning. That means you have a strategy, right? Then how is it aligned to whatever you are doing? All this. So it pushes you into these 4 quadrants. All your measures are forced into all these 4 quadrants. Let us see how it really works. Now I'll just give you, let me just clear this drawings and let me go back to our yeah. So the balanced scorecard traditionally is moves away from the traditional financial measures, and it gives you, it forces you into all those 4 quadrants which we talked about. Now, so as I said, balanced scorecard is a communication tool, is a measurement system, and a strategic management tool. Now, let me just, I'm not going to talk about why all that, but let me quickly get into less of theory and more of practical. Now, when I talk about a balanced scorecard, why it becomes very, very useful is because it makes you think. Because it actually, you want to derive strategy, it makes you think, what is my mission, right? The larger picture. So typically, if I want to ask you, what is the mission of your organization? Can someone of you tell me what is the mission of your organization? Anybody? Suman, what's your mission? Mission is typically why we exist.
Yeah, so there is a kind of a mission statement which is there, which is kind of written down. But you know, the fundamentally where we struggle sometimes that whether we could actually cascade it down to the junior most person or not. You know, that's something perhaps.
Yeah, we are coming now. So, so when we talk about balanced scorecard, it takes into consideration our mission, why we exist, our values, the way, because these values are our guiding principles. How do we go about? Then it talks about vision. Vision is what? What is vision? What could be a vision for Kalyan's company?
See, since we are in sales, I can say like we want to be #1 sales company in the edible oil. So that could be our mission.
Absolutely. So, but vision will also be quantified. Okay. So can I ask you all to take just, I will show you what, can I ask you all to take just about 2 or 3 minutes? Most of you are working for your companies. What would be a vision statement?
Do I read out our company's vision statement?
Yeah. So what, can you read out, please, Devankar? Yeah.
We aspire to be the thought leaders in India on a foundation of the enduring trust of our customers and by harnessing the talent and innovation of our people.
Okay, great. Anybody else? So we're going to do a little detailing. Anybody else? Can you read out your vision statement? Anybody else who can read out a vision statement? I asked you all to get them so that we can really work on it. Rajeshri, you want to read out, or somebody who wants to read out the vision statement?
Yes, just give me a second. It's a clear choice for a clear warehouse.
Clear choice for a clear warehouse. Okay, okay. All right. Let us actually, okay, because of the time, now we will look at certain vision statements, value statements, etc. But let me give you, because we have to do a strategy map, let me give you a very good understanding in terms of why is balanced scorecard a very, very effective tool. Now, earlier on, the mission, values, vision, strategy would be all there. But there would be a huge gap between mission, vision, values, strategy, and then what you really do on the ground. Are you getting me? Are you getting me? There would be a divide in the sense mission, vision, values, strategy would be there, but on the ground you would be working at something else, like your scores have shown. But today, when you use a balanced scorecard, you are able to then cascade it down right to the last mile. Somebody said, can we use it to the last roll? Yes, you can actually start breaking down that big strategy or the game plan into smaller and smaller by cascading it down and then measuring each and every activity into those 4 quadrants. Responding to Debankar's question right in the beginning, he said, so therefore, when you have a balanced scorecards measured separately, and when you have your KRAs differently, you cannot achieve the strategy. They have to actually be aligned, merged, embedded into your goal system so that you are able to achieve your strategy. Right?
But Nirmala, one question I have here, that means unless we have a vision statement and a mission statement and clearly laid out strategy,
right,
I feel that implementation of balanced scorecard actually does not make any sense.
I'm coming to that. I just gave you a little understanding of how balanced scorecard works. In fact, I'm going to talk about it, saying that the first and the foremost step. So I'll talk about the 9 steps. The first and the foremost step when you want to start a balanced scorecard, use a balanced scorecard, you definitely want in place, why are we existing? What are those values we believe in? What is my vision? Okay. And then all these translated into a strategy. That is, vision is what, where do I want, what is that I want to achieve, right? The big picture. And then you actually have your strategy, which is a game plan. Based on your strategy, then you are going to actually break it down as a balanced scorecard for the corporate at the top level. Then break it down for all your business units, break it down into departmental units, so that then you are able to get your outcomes in terms of satisfied shareholders, delighted customers, and good processes. And ultimately, you're also having great people to work for.
So, ma'am,
we will talk about it in detail and you will do it. I'm just giving you a little big picture of it. Yeah, Minal, you wanted to ask.
Ma'am, this is the same strategy we used even with the KRA, right? So we have the business goal in mind before we implement even a KRA system, you know. Once we have the business goal in mind, we break them into our departmental goals, and departmental goals then in turn become your individual KRAs. So
right.
The balanced scorecard also would work in a similar fashion, right?
It's similar fashion, but just reflect on your document and see that most of the organizations are breaking their goal into KRAs at a unit level, at a departmental level, at a role level.
Right.
But when you have a balanced scorecard, it forces you to see your KRAs in the 4 quadrants, as opposed to having a list of KRAs which may or may not capture the right measures in those 4 quadrants. Are you getting me?
Okay.
Because you may have a list of KRAs and you aggregate them, but you may not actually then have all the 4 quadrants KRAs.
Okay.
So the balanced scorecard pushes you, drives you to look at your KRAs from the financial perspective, from the customer perspective, from the internal business processes perspective, and the learning and growth. Okay. So so we will be doing this in a while. Okay. Just wanting to show some examples of mission statements. Okay. Just take a look at some of the common companies you must have heard of. Look at 3M's mission statement: to solve unsolved problems innovatively. Very interesting. Okay. Walmart's mission statement: to give ordinary folks the chance to buy the same things as rich people. And I'm sure all of you know about Walt Disney's mission statement. That is to make people happy. Mission statements do not change often. They are there for long times. Okay. They are something like, why are we existing? So they don't keep changing, mission statements. Now let us look at the value statements. Let us look at a value statement of General Electric, you know. Passion for excellence. Being open to ideas from anywhere and committed to working things out. Living quality and driving cost and speed. Or let us look at Walt Disney's nurturing and promulgation of wholesome American values, creativity, dreams and imagination, preservation and control of the Disney magic. Now, why am I actually showing you the mission, values, and also let us see some Indian companies' values. TCS says leading change, integrity, respect for the individual, excellence, learning and sharing. Now, how is vision, values holding good when we are actually crafting a strategy? Now, they have to be translated into not only at the top level, but right up to the lowest level, that is on the ground, even to the lowest person, where the last mile. So how are we going to do that? It is only through the balanced scorecard. So therefore, what is very, very important, that how are you actually going to translate your vision, mission, values into your balanced scorecard? So vision, what is vision? And some of the visions of, let me just give you some of the visions of some good. TCS wants to be what? Recognized, respected as a professional, innovative, profitable information company. Now, once you have the vision, mission, and your values, then you are actually crafting a strategy.
Nirmala, which one comes first, vision or a mission?
Now, there can be a lot of debates in terms of which comes first in terms of mission and vision. But typically, if you actually look at most of the companies, mission is first and the vision is next. Okay, so mission and vision follows the mission. Mission is why are we existing? Vision is what is that I really want to. It's like a dream. It is quantified in terms of looking at external factors, then internal capabilities, and then looking at all the quadrants. It has a time, it has everything in terms of capabilities. What is that you really want to do? It's a game plan. Okay, now let us just get into some of the. So let me use a board so that we can start working on. Okay. Yeah. Can some of you quickly take a minute or two to write what is your game plan or what is the strategy for your organization, which I'm sure you must have brought along, right? Yes, do you all have strategy for your organization? No? Okay, okay. All right, okay. Let me then get into showing you something, okay? Now, any organization, I exist because what? Why do I exist? Why do businesses exist?
To earn profits?
Exist, okay? Anybody, why most of you are working in organizations? Why do they exist?
To fulfill the purpose.
Huh?
To fulfill the purpose.
To somebody says what? Profits?
Yes.
Okay, I will write profits. Is that all?
Customer service.
To fulfill the purpose, ma'am.
It's not very clear. You can put it in the chat. Yeah. Anybody else? So why do business exist? Okay, let me ask.
Brand value, customers.
So your organization, Mosimi. So why does it exist?
First and foremost, any organization exists is for business, for sure, financial gain. The second one,
financial gain.
Financial gain. The second one, what it wants to serve to the society. That two things.
Okay. All right. So every business exists because it has certain product, right? Or a service for certain customers. You agree? Huh? You are in the business because you are selling certain product or services for certain customers. Okay. So in order to do this, you will definitely have a
strategy.
Will you have a strategy for that? Yes, you will have a strategy. That is, in order to sell your products and services for a certain customers, you have a strategy. Now, this strategy is further fine-tuned by focusing. There is something called, hey, what is that value I want to give to the customer? What is the value I want to give to the customer, which is also called value discipline. Okay. The strategy with a certain value discipline, you are able to then give products and services for a certain customer. Now let me talk about, supposing there is this organizations called what? How many of you gone to McDonald's? What do they serve?
Burgers.
Yeah, now I want you all to participate. I'm getting down to making it very, very simple for you. Just to recap, I talked about every organization has a vision, right? Huh? It also has a mission.
Mission.
Okay. And then
Strategy.
there are certain values within which it works. All right. Now, McDonald's, let us understand. First of all, what does it sell? It sells
Burgers.
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 Okay.
Yes, basically.
Now, look at it from the cost perspective. Are they cheap? Are they affordable?
Yes.
They're affordable. Okay. Then, what is the quality? Good quality?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. Then, what about speed? In terms of when you go and order them, you get it in 5 to 10 minutes.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Reasonable time. Okay. Now, so it has certain market in terms of, selling this. So if I, who's so used to, something like a Starbucks kind of a thing, I go and I want to actually linger around, sit there, will I be able to actually get that kind of a treatment from McDonald's? So McDonald's says, hey, you come, you quickly order, we'll give you, eat and go. So what does it focus on to achieve, to deliver this kind of a product and service? What does it focus on? What does it focus on? Suman?
Good quality
Speed.
at affordable cost.
Yeah. It focuses on
Speed and quality.
operational,
Operational excellence.
right?
Yeah.
That means I will focus on what? My processes.
Process delivery.
So that they're standardized. What we call it as standard operating processes. They're standardized. If you go and buy a pizza now and if you go and buy a pizza later, it will be of the same quality, right?
Yeah.
But it is of an affordable cost. So some of the organizations are working at operational excellence. Can you now think of whether your organization is any of your organizations are working at operational excellence? So one of the value disciplines we are talking about is, what is it? Operational excellence. Now think of another organization called Apple. Are they cheap?
No.
No.
They are not cheap. They come up with most of the time new features, etc. Right? They are expensive. No?
Yes.
So what do they actually strive to do?
Quality.
Experience.
They are always striving to be product
Quality.
product leaders. No? They're trying to be product leaders.
Right.
So the other value discipline is product leadership.
Superiority.
Are you getting me?
They focus on innovation, ma'am. So maybe that's also their value.
Yeah. So therefore, when you want to be a product leader, you have to be creative, you have to be innovative, you have to hire the best kind of a people. But when you want to be a little affordable and cost wise also and quality wise also, you have to maintain good, but you cannot pay them very high salaries. So when you are in an operational excellence kind of a value discipline, all your ways of doing things are very, very different. Your measures will be different, because in operational excellence, your measures will be more in terms of what? Productivity, right? Whereas in product leadership, what will you look at? As somebody said, creativity, innovation, how many times, how new your features are every time, then you will withdraw. 3M, it keeps innovating, creating, right? The other kind of a value discipline is, think of a Dell. It's called customer intimacy. This is very, very important when you are using a balanced scorecard to understand a little bit of your strategy and your value discipline, because then you will know, hey, in what value discipline I am in. What is customer intimacy? Think of Dell. This, when you have this kind of a value discipline, you are saying, hey, I'm actually trying to make products and services understanding the customer's needs. I will install CRM, be closer with them, customize all the products. It will be very, very customized. Okay. So what are we looking at? We are looking at saying that there are 3 kinds of value disciplines, which are called operational excellence, product leadership, and customer intimacy.
Can an organization have 2 value disciplines, product leadership and customer intimacy both?
Yeah, I'm just going to talk. Now, typically, why do you want, so I said, strategy is further, this game plan has a discipline. Now, this value discipline is 3 types: operational, product, and customer. What does it give you? It gives you focus. It gives you focus so that you are able to actually give products and services within that kind of a value discipline. Now, Debankar was asking, can I be at at 2 value disciplines, can I be very good? Now, can you be very good at operational excellence? That means giving affordable cost, and also can you be a product leader? You cannot be, right?
But what about the other 2?
Because, yeah, so when you have to maintain certain threshold. When I said if you are operational excellent, that doesn't mean that you have to be 0 at product leadership and 0 at customer intimacy. You have to maintain a threshold. Are you getting me? Okay. That means when you are operational excellence value discipline, you still have to know your customer. Okay, you can't be 0. There is a level, but you can't be both. For example, in the last organization I was operating, where I was a senior VP, this is an IT company which was into product leadership. They also had a BPO which is into operational excellence, right? Now, can I club both of them together and say, hey, we will have same policy, same procedure, recruitment, hiring, everything will be the same? I can't. Why do you have a value discipline? You want to differentiate. You want to get a competitive advantage. Okay. So you, at best, you can have, yes, ITS company and product, because for a product leadership, you need different kind of people. You will have different kind of HR policies. You will have different kind of talent management stuff. But for an ITS company, which is into operational excellence, you will hire average people. You will give them compensation, which is, a little above the average. So everything changes. Now, are you getting me? So, so you have to identify, first of all, where you are.
No, I would like to cite the example from my own organization.
Yeah.
We are undoubtedly the number 1 in terms of our product. So product leadership is definitely one of our primary value disciplines. But at the same time, we reach out to our readers, we conduct a lot of readers meet, we make a solid effort or a sincere effort to find out what the customer wants. So my question is, given this kind of a scenario, our discipline, value discipline should be product leadership or customer intimacy clubbed with product leadership?
So your value discipline, if you are saying that when you say product leadership, what does it mean? You are coming out with new features in your medium company. See, one is being the best, but so when you are into operational excellence, Your product portfolio will be just very narrow. You are into the assembly line kind of a thing, reducing your cost and passing it on, and only few products and doing the same thing. Your focus is more in terms of how do I get efficiencies. Are you now getting me? But when you are into product leadership, you are actually investing and saying, I want to get into higher and higher, better features, better markets. It is not doling out what same products. Think of Walmart. What would you say? Is Walmart into an operational excellence company or product leadership?
Operational excellence.
Operation.
Why? Anybody else? Let me think. Yeah, anybody who wants to respond? Why Walmart is into an operational excellence company? What is their, can you think, what is their, what is it, vision statement and value statement? They want to pass on the benefits to the end customer at an affordable cost. So what could be one of their strengths? Supply chains, buying, procuring at much lesser prices, and then reducing all their costs. So they are more into efficiencies, standard operating procedures.
Processes.
What will you say? Google is a?
I think product leadership.
Yes.
I think
Why
product
every day you are coming out new product. So to get new products, do you have to hire average people or will you hire good people?
Excellent.
Great people.
Great people.
So if you have to hire great people, will you pay peanuts or will you pay big money?
Yeah.
Are you getting me? So essentially, when you are actually, in fact, as an HR head for so many years, I recall when you have to understand, everybody has to understand, even their support function, which discipline I am. Because when I'm hiring, if I'm a Walmart company, I can't get somebody from a product leadership company and say, I'm going to fit him, because compensations will be very, very different. Are you getting me? Because they need people, only 2% or 3% of the people in operational excellence will have higher salaries. Why? I'm not innovating every day, every process. My job is to give the same thing, assembly line, same thing. Toyota, what will it be? Operational excellence or what?
Operational excellence.
Absolutely, they are into operational excellence. Because, but what about, like Ferrari?
Product leadership.
Product.
Will it be cheap Ferrari? How many times it's more? Because they need people who can be creative in designing, etc. So in order to hire such kind of a people, I need to get it. Now, Debunker's question was, can I be, okay, operational product, but can I be customer intimate? Yes, you need to have certain amount of customer intimacy. But there are companies like, which are totally into customer intimacy, who only customize. Say, for example, the ladies will be interested. Sabyasachi, designing. What does he do? He will customize it totally. Debunker, you are attending a wedding? Okay, fine. It will be like this. So he will understand your individual need, what it will be. He will tick it, everything. Are you getting me now?
Got your point. Absolutely clear.
But other companies who are not into customer intimacy also have to understand their customers. This, so
and I think Nirmala, correct me if my understanding is correct. I think number one positions actually doesn't matter whether that particular product in operation excellence or product leadership. In fact, the number one can be being there in the product leadership and you can be number one, being there in the operation excellence and you can be number one. So I think number one has nothing to do with the the value definitions that Nirmala is sharing. That is what my opinion is.
Suman, no, I have to kind of correct you here, saying that you could be number one in operational excellence, you could be number one in product leadership. Irrespective of that, why am I actually reinforcing this is you have to know where you are. Now I'm coming to that, because my customer value proposition is dependent on where I am. What I call it as customer value proposition. This is a little important for balance, because the kind of products and services I give to my customer is dependent on operational excellence or product leadership or customer intimacy, because the entire entire other framework is dependent on this.
So,
Okay.
ma'am, we can never have an
Number one on this,
organization.
number one on number, but
Yeah,
you
so,
have to
ma'am,
move to which value discipline you are.
Yeah, so ma'am, what you're trying to say is that one organization cannot have all these three valued disciplines. They can either be in operational excellence or product leadership. They can be in customer intimacy, or they can have a combination, but the weightage they give to it will be different.
Absolutely.
For example, an Apple may have product leadership at 80% weightage, which doesn't mean that they don't have customer intimacy, because whatever innovation, they will have to understand their customer needs also. So maybe the weightage is 20%, you know? So varies maybe.
Yeah. So as I said, that their focus, the thrust will be towards one discipline, while the other weightages, while the other will be, you know, at a threshold. So Suman, did I get you saying that if you're number one, it doesn't mean that, you know, you can be at, so you have to be at one of them.
Yeah.
Why should you be at one of them? Because it's a focus. You can't do everything. You will actually attain some competitive advantage, some differentiation. Okay. What I will do now is, I just gave you a little.
One question. I mean, in case of B2B value proposition,
yes.
I mean, what should be the primary focus on? It will be an operational excellence, because here the customer thing is not working.
Right. Right. So depending on what product it is, Rajeshri, and where are you, you could more likely be at an operational excellence.
Okay.
Okay. More likely to be at an operational excellence. Okay.
Nirmala,
yeah.
Yeah, Shonda, please.
I just have a question.
Please.
Nirmala, is it possible for a particular product over a period of time to move from a particular, kind of value discipline to another value discipline? For example, maybe as a product, it starts with the product leadership and then slowly and gradually move to operational excellence. In the product life cycle. Is that possible?
I will give you a very good, very interesting example, Suman, so that all of you know about this product. Okay. Now, everybody knows about Nirma, how it started. Nirma.
Yeah.
Ladies will know more. Nirma is that yellow powder. The Nirma guy was going on a cycle and selling it, right? So how, and other people, Debankar already said brand. So how did I perceive it? What are the attributes will you give to Nirma? Cheap?
Down market.
Cheap? No. Cheap? Okay, affordable. Aam aadmi ka soap hai.
Yes.
I will be using it, okay? So, Nirma was into operational excellence, right? It was, selling it, same product, no large product portfolio, just 2 varieties, narrow, but doing the same thing at an affordable cost. Over a period of time, Nirma wanted to, like Suman was asking, was wanting to get into what? Higher market. That is, was wanting to get into what? Product leadership by making better things. But how was it perceived still by the market? Nirma. Oh, ye to Nirma hai, cheap. So, you get me? The same thing happened with Lifebuoy. Yes. Lifebuoy was at an affordable cost operational excellence. But when I wanted to get into a product leadership discipline, but still in my mind, Lifebuoy.
Yes.
They were pitching a very expensive soap as well, but not many takers. You getting me? So what does it mean? That it is very difficult. So what did McDonald do? McDonald was into operational excellence, but when they wanted to get into product leadership, they separated. There is another company which is another higher product leadership where you had variety. So they separated the company. Are you able to now figure out, Suman?
Yeah.
Market positioning once done.
The minds of the customer to rub off, right?
Market positioning once done is very difficult to be raised.
Exactly. So typically what is happening, when I say value discipline means to which market, to which customer are you targeting, right? Because when you know your value discipline, then all your strategies, everything, we'll do a map now. Everything is then focused towards it. So I just wanted to give you a little understanding on this disciplines. Now I'll actually take you back to a strategic map and you will be doing it. Yeah.
One just supplementary question. Now, for example, in our organization, which value discipline is our guiding discipline? How do we judge? Because
you will do that. Once you do a map now, you will know where I am. Okay. I will make you practically do it now. Okay.